With fast fashion, all too often we find things like this where the collar has come off, and of course then it's unwearable. What are we going to do about that? It's really not that hard to fix with a sewing machine once we learn how. So I'm going to demonstrate how you can fix this. I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch. Of course, if you're a knitter or a crocheter, there may be other ways to fix it. But as a sewist, I predominantly fix everything with the typical thread and needles and sewing machines that you would use for other garments. So I'm so glad that you joined me and hope that you find this to be a useful tip that you can use for your own wardrobe. And as always, if you find this channel to be helpful, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can follow along for more tips for sewing for your home. When you're trying to fix this, one of the things to notice is that the actual sweater is going between two layers of the collar. So I'm just going to open that up and make sure that you have enough seam allowance for the sweater to go underneath that collar. And then we're going to sandwich it between those two layers. And I'm going to just take a pin and use a couple of them. I'd rather have more pins than less so that we make sure to catch all of the fabric. I'm just going to continue going along doing that. Pushing it in there. And pinning it down. Just like that. There, and now here I am at the sewing machine. I have black thread on it, but I'm going to try and find a little bit closer gray. It doesn't look, might be a closer gray fabric, a gray thread, I mean. Yeah, let's try that one. So here's a gray. I'm going to bring the sewing machine forward. Now that I have the machine threaded with the matching thread, or as close as possible matching, bring it over here. Now I've set my zigzag at a 4-inch wide, 3.5 length. In part, I can set it this long because I am anticipating that my stitches won't be seen. And I would rather have it longer than shorter so that it catches most of the fabric. So let's try it out and see. I'm going to slow it down a little bit and cut that so we can see what it looks like. And that's really fine. You're not noticing that at all. I'll leave that. You don't want your stitches to be, your stitch length to be too short, or what's going to happen is it's going to create a pull in the sweater because it's too many stitches for the knit. I'm actually going to lengthen mine so 4.5 and try it from there. I think I like this a little better. So a long zigzag is better, especially for a sweater with this weave where it's really quite a light or loose weave. So you don't want it to be pulled together and have that bunchy look from your sewing machine stitches. And as you notice, I'm just running my presser foot right along the edge of the collar here. Then I'm going to go past the point where we started to unravel. So you notice the actual problem with this sweater was that it had started to unravel, and that's what pulled the collar away. So I'm just going to keep continuing down for a little bit to hopefully ensure that there's no unraveling that's going to take place. and then it's done, and you really barely notice that at all. It's really fixed as good as new. You can tell on the inside a little bit. This little overhang is where I stitched compared to the factory. Doesn't have any overhang, but it's completely mended. And so recognizing that often with the clothing that we have, it's not even so much a matter of like big holes. This looked like such a big problem, but it's the stitching that's coming out. And so if we can learn how to repair stitching, especially using our sewing machine, then our clothes can last quite a lot longer. Thank you for watching. You can shop tutorials and classes on my website, naomifeda.net. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, may God sow his love into your heart today.